This is the Business Report, brought to you with the compliments of CIBC First Caribbean.
The local credit union movement is being told that it can assist with supporting housing and agriculture. This is according to Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Maxine McLean. With respect to housing, Senator McLean wants consideration given to making land available for credit union members. The suggestion came during debate in the Senate on the appropriations bill this morning.
Where they can get their mortgages financed by the very credit unions of which they are members, and that they can then work with small contractors, obviously reputable ones and so on. That is between the person and so on. But look at ways in which they can facilitate the construction of homes for members of the credit union using the resources of the credit union. Because at the end of the day, if that happens, you may very well find that the small contractors are members of the credit union. The members themselves are borrowing their savings, and they're the ones who would earn dividends on their savings, and who, if we follow the principles of the cooperative movement, will be able to get attractive rates of interest on their loans.
Vehicle loans continue to be one of the major financial commitments undertaken by Barbadians. That's according to a major player in that market. Kent Jerson has the story.
Vehicle loans account for a high percentage of the financing done by Signia Financial Group Incorporated.
It's significant. It's more than 50% of our business.
That's Signia's CEO Paul Ashby, who adds that in this particular segment of the market, his company is perhaps the dominant player.
I would almost go on a limb to say that we are probably the number one financier for certainly reconditioned vehicles, and we do a number of new vehicles as well, and that market is so buoyant.
So much so that even as the island experiences some economic challenges, Signia is yet to see a fall off in its loans for customers acquiring a vehicle. Mr. Ashby says this is due to people's strong desire to own a car, in addition to the company's good service, flexibility, and quick processing time. He also responds to the criticism often leveled at financial institutions that it's easier to get a vehicle loan than for business purposes, whether it's for a startup or for expansion. The Signia CEO says it's all about risk, with there being much more consideration where financing a business is concerned compared with a vehicle loan.
An individual will have certainly a track record of employment, generally a steady income, and so that takes care of your primary source of repayment, and then the secondary source of repayment would be your vehicle if you're ultimately forced to sell it. So in the context of assessing the risk, it is probably easier to give a loan to an individual for a vehicle. In the context of a business, now you have to think about all the other factors that will come into play in terms of the management skill, the industry that the person is in, the cash flow. There are a lot more variables that have to be taken into consideration.
Nevertheless, he says some applications for business financing have been favorably considered by Signia. Kent Jerson for the Business Report.
It's time now to take a look at how stocks traded on selected exchanges across the region.
In Jamaica, NCB Financial Group Limited was the volume leader with 426,812 units. In Trinidad and Tobago, Guardian Holdings Limited was the volume leader with 94,330 shares changing hands, all for a value of $1,509,520.10. And here in Barbados, Sagicor Financial Corporation Limited was the volume leader, trading 23,457 shares at a high of $2.30 each.